இப்போ பண்ணதெல்லாம் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா பயங்கரமான ஆக்டிங், கரெக்டாக? மிமிக்ரி பண்ணுறது, ஆக்டிங் பண்ணுறது. வாட் யூ திங்க், உங்களை வந்து ஏன் நீங்கள் ஆக்டராகவே இல்லை? அது கேள்வி, அதுக்கு நிறைய கேள்வி கேட்டிருக்கு. செகண்ட்லி, வாட் யூ திங்க் an actor should do? உங்களுடைய பாயிண்ட் ஆஃப் வியூவில் எப்படி ஆக்டர்கிட்ட எல்லாமே நம்ம ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் கிட்டலாம் சொல்லியிருக்கேன், இந்த மாதிரி நீங்கள் எப்படி பண்ணுவீங்கன்னா நீங்களே நடித்து, நீங்களே ஃபோட்டோலாம் எடுத்து, நீங்களே விஷுவலாக காமிச்சு ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ்க்கெல்லாம் ஏதாவது ஆக்டர்ஸ்க்கெல்லாம் பண்ணிவிடுவீங்க அப்படின்னு. What do you think an actor should prepare for a film? How he should prepare for a film?
There's two ways, sir. That is why you can't become an actor அப்படின்றதுக்கு வந்து என்னன்னா, if I'm being an actor, no, I can act only one character actually. If I'm being a director, I can act many characters actually. I feel really great. That was one which was very interesting. See, because I can't explain what an actor should do. See, because I think predominantly you have to react to. That is more important, It's more than acting is you have to react, understand what the thing is, and you have to only react. So for me, it is more, that was my only way of communication. I used to be very dramatic actually. See, because when I speak, when I narrate the story also, Indian egri gudichu appadi dhaan narrate panniruppan. So it used to be very dramatic. So somewhere down the line, you figured out that skill in you, but you didn't want to acquire that acting, which you didn't want to pursue that as a career, because beyond that, the passion was, which you identified, was to tell a story. So now I use this thing to help me a lot in expressing myself. So yaar andal, because when I'm going to for Ajith sir, Prabhu sir, that enake nadichi katriyada appadinu sir, illa sir, oru nimisham na panni kaattirilla. I remember Prakash Raj got offended actually when Arindam Arambam pannittu irukumbodhu, because see, I know what my character needs and I know what I'm thinking it, because script பண்ணும்போது you will ஒரு scene பண்ணும்போது I can't sit and write. I cannot write, that's the fact. I cannot write. I can act out what I want. That is, I think somewhere, I think it's you cultivated in it on a very subconscious level. So you're not able to say exactly. One thing I know is, if this guy says, what would he do? So you have to react to that. And what are his do's and don'ts? That is, you're designing the character with all the do's and don'ts, what he can, what he cannot, what he should not, and what is his mental state of mind, how he should be thinking, what is his. So these are all the qualities. If you know about the character and keep it behind, then automatically you would start reacting like that. You would start reacting like that actually. So Prakash Raj Panubad, I know the way he has to react, and those are the things which I do. So what happens in a Kepli is, I give my shades to characters. So I remember sitting, when my son is sleeping, I remember just going and sitting and seeing it. Go pinch him, purposely wake him up. So those are the qualities which you give for your characters, and other one I'll be able to only perform. I cannot say certain things. So that those things help me a lot in directing my actors actually, because when an actor comes to the set, they won't have, see, ninga kada ellame solidum ellame kedum, but they will have a different perception of how they should perform. So what happens is, you have to feed them with a lot of information. Information is very important to understand, and an actor should basically forget about what they are completely when they're coming. You should not come with a preconceived notion on irukku actually. நம்ம வந்து இந்த இதுக்கு நம்ம இப்படி தான் பண்ணணும், இப்படி பண்ணிட்டு நம்ம ஒரு forget your image. Because all the people today who you are seeing as superstars or actors or anybody, that when you actually get in, you will feel that, you have to be you have to have no inhibitions at all. You have to be open. You have to be like a clay, literally. So you have to be that flexible to mold yourself. And adhuliyum or restrictions irukku for actors, because I felt it when I was doing it. That is because sometimes you need that. You have to do that. You have to do that. Sometimes you won't be able to do it, because that is not what you are. But you understand what he wants, but you understand what the director wants, but that is not what you are. Appo enna pannona, you have to adapt the way you think, and the way you are, you have to perform it like that, because every individual has a restriction in performing. They have their own restrictions actually. So adukku then they do, you have to loosen up, you have to loosen up yourself so you can move. You never keep yourself stiff, so you can mold yourself, and you will slowly, only when you loosen up, so you don't put barriers. Any actor which I see, most of them, they put a lot of barriers actually. முதல்ல வந்தோடனே இல்லை, நான் இப்படி தான் ஒரு பெரிய ஒரு வாலை கட்டி வச்சிருவாங்க actually. அது அவங்களே கட்டி வச்சுன்னா அவங்களே உடைக்கிறதுக்கு கஷ்டப்படுவாங்க. So you should not have anything technically, because and then you should react to things, not act.
So you have to react and not act. சரி, ஒரு சினிமோட்டோகிராஃபரா நல்லா நீங்க வந்திருக்கலாம்ல, ஏன் சினிமோட்டோகிராஃபிலே கண்டினியூ பண்ணல? பட் யூ வாண்ட் டு ஃபாலோ சந்தோஷ் சிவன் மாதிரி.
No, அப்படி கிடையாது sir. It is not that actually, because photography, it is something what you love. Okay, and it is the idea. I realize you shoot a photograph itself and you keep telling stories about it. So the moment you started telling stories about it, you wanted to explore it more. The whole beauty of shooting, you wanted to explore more. So you started telling stories actually. Started, hey, the photo, see what happened. See, this guy is going like this. Why this moment is like this is because he's too paranoid. You could see this thing. So he started telling a story actually. So the whole idea of storytelling started becoming more interesting. That is when you started identifying yourself. So, but all these qualities of being an actor, knowing cinematography and all these things help me in telling a story. Because for me, I think a director should know all the crafts. No, you don't need to master them, but you should be completely aware of a lot of crafts. And more importantly, for me, you will really want to do something, every individual. But they are really good at something else, actually, they have to identify what they are. What they are, the identity is what will actually make you complete away.
Tell us about music. Yuvan, from the beginning, only Yuvan. இங்கே இருக்கிற ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ்க்கு நீங்கள் அதை எப்படி அட்வைஸ் பண்ணுவீங்க? அதாவது ஒரு டீமை ஃபார்ம் பண்ணுறது முதல்லேருந்தே தட்ஸ் சர்ப்ரைசிங். ஏன்னா யூ ஆர் த ஒன்லி டைரக்டர், ஒரே டீமோட ஒர்க் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கீங்க எக்ஸப்ட் ஃபார் த கேமராமேன் இஸ் சேஞ்ச். பட் ஆஸ் ஃபார் இஸ் எடிட்டிங் இஸ் கன்சர்ன், மியூசிக் இஸ் கன்சர்ன், லிரிக் இஸ் கன்சர்ன், சேம் டீம். எப்படி ஒரு டீமை ஃபார்ம் பண்ணிட்டு அதே டீமோட இவ்வளோ படம் ட்ராவல் பண்ணிட்டே இருக்கீங்க?
சார், அதான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் சொன்னதில் இட்ஸ் அ கம்ஃபர்ட் லெவல் ஆக்சுவலி. சார் இட்ஸ் பிகாஸ் whenever you prepare anything, the biggest problem சொல்ல மாட்டேன். The thing is you have to make people believe in you. You have to make people believe in you. That is the first thing. And the people you have to make believe in you are your own family, like your whole team. So they are your family actually, because I think you spend more time with them more than anything. So they have to, if they don't believe, you can't force them. Oh, that cannot work like that. You can never work like that. You can never direct anything like that. But with authority, that is, you make them believe in you. So with Yuvan, which is the same thing. So I share a very comfortable zone with Yuvan. First we should break the whole idea of the do's and don'ts. You have to go with a very open thing. And Yuvan being a schoolmate, Yuvan started 9th discontinue, he started Aravindan music up away. And Yuvan, after that I moved to Bombay, Yuvan had no clue who I was. Yuvan had no clue where I have gone also. Because Anjali was the only connection between me and Yuvan, because he sang Mottamadi song and all those things he sang. So Anjali Payan so kindle pannittirpa actually. So that was the only connection we had. I never figured out that I will be becoming a director. So my first film, when it happened, I went to meet him in his house. And more than anything, you felt more comfortable that you're meeting a friend. Aduna. So that comfort zone will help you so much in actually delivering what you want. That's very important between things, which is the same thing I shared with Neerav, I shared with Srikar Prasad sir. My very first film as an assistant, I remember standing behind Kai Katite, Avid. But my first film, I didn't get Avid. I had to sit on the steam bag. There was another trip altogether because of so many constraints. So when you have all these people believing you, you have a very strong wavelength between them. You're very open to discussing with them. The point is very simple, sir. You can talk to a man who is thinking for himself. You can deal with a person like that. So I'm very comfortable dealing with people like that. Whether I'm able to deal with one person all my life or 2 person, it's okay. You cannot deal with a person who is thinking for 10 people. It's very difficult. You cannot work with those kind of people. And all the people over the course of time I worked, it's very direct. Yuvan is very direct. Ajith is very, very direct. Jam Yoda is very direct. And all the with Neerav, it's very direct. Whoever I share with, first you make them believe in you. If you make them believe in you, it becomes very easy. And I share I think it's more got to do with how comfortable you are. That's why I think I'm not explored many people. Because I'm very comfortable with the set.
Same team.
Yeah, same team.
You like to work with only Srikar Prasad because he's like a guru to you.
No sir, Srikar Prasad sir, I've admired him like you can't imagine. Because for me personally, I think he's one of the best storytellers. Because editing is the second direction, where you actually put everything on. You can shoot so much you want, but putting everything together and ninga oru shot maati vecha kuda, it can convey so many things actually. I learnt my edit because I most of my songs and my action sequences only I edit actually, because I don't want any of the masters, because I love editing a lot, because it's like another direction. It's like putting things together and giving a meaning to it, and how to narrate the story. You don't need this to convey this. You don't need that to convey this. This is important, this has to be there. It's almost like second directing actually. And I learned from the very scratch because avaroda ukkarumbodhu hey idella idu vena, because you can't tell a story like this, because they are not thinking about cutting a slick flick or a stylized thing. It is about what the story demands and what styling the director is looking at and all these things. For me, I think he's one of the best storytellers till date. He's amazing in storytelling, because I remember a lot of films that go out for editing and they actually come to him on the second opinion. Sir, idu set ஆக மாட்டேங்குது சார், என்ன பண்றது? He would restructure the film. Kamine was one of them, and there were so many other films which he would restructure and give, because he's so open. Actually, if you interact with him, he's so open actually. He's so open, like evlo close ta irukaro, he's that open actually, because to receiving things, and he moves with time. That is very important actually. He moves with time in terms of what styling is and how you should narrate a story, what is a story pattern, what is the director looking at, and then because I learned a lot from him on the edit actually.
Tell us about Billa. அந்த டைமில் ஒரு இவ்வளோ ஸ்டைலிஷாக, இவ்வளோ என்ன சொல்கிறது, ரொம்ப போல்டாக, ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் த வே யூர் ஷோன் நயன்தாரா, எப்படி அந்த கட்ஸ் வந்தது உங்களுக்கு? யுவர் ஒன்லி 4th ஃபிலிம், அண்ட் ஹவு டிட் யூ கெட் தட் கட்ஸ் டு மேக் அ ஃபிலிம் லைக் தட்? அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு அஜித் மாதிரி ஒரு ஹீரோ வந்து ஸ்டைலிஷாக காமிக்கணும், அண்ட் ஹவு டிட் யூ கெட், ஏன்னா அதுதான் வந்து டைரக்ஷன் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ்க்கெல்லாம் ஒரு ரீமேக்கை வந்து ஒரு கம்ப்ளீட்டாக மாற்ற முடியும்னு எப்படி நீங்கள் டிசைட் பண்ணீங்க அந்த படத்தை?
சரி, ரீமேக் பண்ணுறதுன்னு டிசைட் பண்ணியாச்சு ஆக்சுவலாக. அண்ட் யூ நோ இட்ஸ் கோயிங் டு பி வித் அஜித் ஆக்சுவலி. த ஃபர்ஸ்ட் திங் ஐ ஹேட் டு திங்க் இஸ் ஐ ஹேட் டு கெட் இஸ் இமேஜ் அவுட் ஆஃப் மை ஹெட், பிகாஸ் இட்ஸ் வெரி டிஃபிகல்ட் அதர்வைஸ். ஐயோ அவர் என்ன நினைப்பார், இல்லை அந்த அவருக்கு ஒரு, பிகாஸ் தே ஆல் கம் வித் அ பேகேஜ். Actors, they come with phenomenal baggage actually, and the moment you start thinking or carrying their baggage, you're finished. You're technically finished actually. That is how you have to really keep yourself strong, but you should work together. That doesn't mean that நான் எடுக்கிறது தான் டெசிஷன், அப்படி கிடையாது ஆக்சுவலாக. ஸோ when you decided to design the film, originally I wanted to shoot the film in black and white. இன்ஃபேக்ட் நீங்கள் நம்ப மாட்டீங்க, ஃபுல்லாக முடிச்சுட்டு கிரேடிங்கில் உட்காரும்போது 2 ரீல் பிளாக் அண்ட் ஒயிட் எனக்காக நான் போட்டு உட்காந்து 2 ரீல் உட்காந்து பார்த்தேன். சுரேஷரில் விஷ்ணு பிளாக் அண்ட் ஒயிட் எல்லாம் ஐயோ ஐயோ அப்படின்ட்டார் அவர். சார் உனக்கு பயப்படாதீங்க சார், இது பிளாக் அண்ட் ஒயிட் எனக்கு தான் சார் போட்டி பண்ணி காட்டிட்டேன். ஸோ யூ ஹாவ் டு டிசைட் யுவர் ஃபிலிம் ஈவன் பிஃபோர் யூ கோன் டு மேக் இட். That is, know the color tone, how you're going to shoot, what is your composition thing, how are you going to treat the film, from your editing to everything actually. See, that is where it is going to help. So when you know this is how, okay, Billa na eppadi treat panna porom அப்படின்றது at the beginning, okay, this is how we are going to treat the film, because you know the film, everybody knows the film. There's nothing new you're going to say. There's nothing new at all you're going to say. So how are you going to look at the film? So now come, let's do it. Let's design the film. What is it? Abdina, then you pick the character. So Billa is originally based on a Don. Okay, what is that man? That man had phenomenal attitude. Okay, so if I was going to perform, if I was going to play, how I would play that role? What style I would have? What I would say? Because then comes what a man with a lot of power does. He speaks less. So okay, so let him not speak much. Okay, let's give him a shade. அப்போ என்ன ஆகுனா அந்த டைமில் வந்து பில்லா வந்து வாஸ் ட்ராவலிங் வித், தே ஹேட் லாட் ஆஃப் ஸ்டோரி லைன்ஸ். ஏன்னா நீங்கள் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா இவரோட தேங்காய் ஸ்ரீனிவாசன் ஒரு ட்ராக் ஒன்று போவோம், ஸ்ரீபிரியாது ஒரு ட்ராக் ஒன்று போவோம், வேலுது ஒரு ட்ராக் ஒன்று போவோம், இது ஒரு ட்ராக் ஒன்று போவோம். ஸோ எவ்ரி திங் யூ ஹேவ் டு கண்டெயின் நேரோ இட் டவுன். ஸோ ஃபார் மீ வென் ஐ சா த ஃபிலிம், தேங்காய் ஸ்ரீனிவாஸ் கேரக்டர் வாஸ் ஐ டோன்ட் ஈவன் நீட் இன் தட் ஃபிலிம், பிகாஸ் மை ப்ரொட்டாகனிஸ்ட் இஸ், பிகாஸ் அந்த டைமில் யூ ஹேவ் டு டெல் அ லாட் ஆஃப் ஸ்டோரி. அந்த டைமில் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஒரு 2.5-3 மணி நேரத்துக்கு நிறைய கதை சொல்லணும். அது சொன்னோம், இது சொன்னோம், அது இவர் என்ன ஃபீல் பண்ணுறாரு, அதுக்கு ஒரு சீன் சொன்னோம், அவர் ஃபீல் பண்ணுறதுக்கு பின்னாடி அவர் சொன்னார், இவர் கால் நோண்டிட்டு இருக்க, அவர் ஏன் நோண்டிட்டு இருந்தார், அவருக்கு ஏன் இது பண்ண இவ்வளோ. பட் ஹியர் ஜீரோ டவுன், பிகாஸ் எவ்ரி திங் சேஞ்சிங், பீப்புள் ஆர் கெட்டிங் வெரி இம்பேஷண்ட், யூனோ, பிகாஸ் ஐ சி த ஃபிலிம் த வே ஐம் சீயிங் இட், ஐம் கெட்டிங் வெரி இம்பேஷண்ட். For me, I don't want to see Tenga Srinivas. I don't want that character, because I don't even know why that character is there, because I want to see what he thinks, what he is doing, what is his ideologies, what he thinks. So you started designing the character. And the character கொடுக்கும்போது it's basically grey shade. All the burgers are crude burgers in the film. It's a gangster film, a hardcore gangster film. Okay, let's design it. Let's give them a color. Black used to be my favorite. So I chose black. Why not shoot it in black and white? But that was too much of a decision to take. That is going beyond boundaries. And எல்லாம் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா there is so much of violence in the characters. So you decided to do it the opposite actually. So you started composing the frames. You know, you had a very classical compositions. Billa had classical compositions actually. Frames எல்லாம் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா அப்படி இருக்கும், அப்படி இருந்துட்டு it will move. That means you don't know what they're thinking. It is not a film like Patil, no, they are very restless, they're too crude, they don't know what they're doing. So your camera is moving according to the story, according to the characters. But Billa was like, yo, what? Now. So you adapted that particular style. Actually, I think the best reference was for me for Billa was Kurosawa actually. I love Kurosawa's compositions. He's one of my all-time favorites actually. The way he composes his characters, composing in a vechi pesradhu kediyadhu. If he's there, why he's positioned like that? Because you want to see his face. Enna yosikran theriyadhu. That's even more that's the beauty of composing a frame. Why you keep that frame is what is he thinking? So that's when you know எல்லாமே சொல்வாங்க வீரேனே பின்னாடியே முதுகே காட்டிட்டு இருக்காரு. That is because he doesn't trust people that easily. So he won't see much. You can't do anything behind him. So even if he's at his back, you want to know what he's thinking inside. So there's a detail why you actually did that. And shades potu uttaru. There are two reasons actually. Because he was going through a lot of stress, Ajith sir. So he was looking very upset actually, very dull. So I was saying, "Kanna marichalam full of shades potu uttu." That was like a joke. But otherwise, you see, why you wear shades generally, that's another quality. Because the eye will lie. Kannu undu kaati kutro. You don't know where you're seeing. So you don't know if I'm talking to you, I don't know who I'm seeing actually. Because I might be even seeing this lady who's standing here. I know she might just pull out a gun anytime and shoot me. So you just get into their shoes, no? Get into that. I would treat, what if I am there in that? So put on that shades. So adla endha shade avarku suit avum. And a particular shade was suiting him. I said fix it throughout the film. Because let him make an identity. And then you needed a tattoo. I wanted to identify it. So because Billa is a brand, it was a thing which you wanted to create. You wanted a tattoo. So I got my friend I need some motive to represent that. So he designed one. So actually I wanted to do a lot of things on the time, which I wanted to do also in Billa too, which I wanted to do that. But we couldn't afford to do a lot of things. So very minimal, what we could express ourselves, we could express in that. So what are the elements that has to be added? So you started designing in this slowly. And we even decided with Nirav, in a tone, what is the tone of the film? Because I remember in the Padathala Pathina, his stills will be there, Ajith sir, he'll be turning this, he'll be looking like this, hide pani shoot panirka on the photographs. I shot that pictures actually, the very first time I shot with him to see how he looks in that. His hair, he had this kind of a bull kind of a thing. So we was just lifting his hair, we were trying, spray your hair, lift it up, and it just fell. So it looked like a bull actually. So every time I used to go, I lift his hair and I'll do that thing. I was serious actually. Is it not looking funny, no chief? It's not looking funny. So we did. So what happens? So you start giving him a look. Because all you have to do is design the look of the film now. And the first stage on the script, what you don't need, and make the story around him. Which is why when we started Billa 2 also, I wanted to do the prequel. Because I remember Farhan had called me once, Nani sir's connection, he was calling because I announced Billa 2. Then he also announced Dawn 2. So he said, when I spoke to him over the phone, by any chance are you doing from where we left? I said, see listen, your whole thing is you made the bad guy good guy, your prime thing. But for me, that is not the case. I stuck to the good guy only till the end. So I can't go beyond this. I'm going backward. I said I'm doing the prequel. I wanted to do the prequel. Prequel will be kick-ass. All these things which you designed, no? Why I put all these things, I can reason that out. At what time Prabhu came into his life, what time he got. What he would have gone through behind. Why he doesn't trust people. Because it's all got to do with psychology actually. Because it's all got to do with psychology. If you are here behaving in a way, you are angry, you are like this, everything is got to do with your past. So when you do your regression, you will know what you will identify yourself. It's got to do with your past. So that's all very important when you do your character. That is why when he thinks, why he thinks, what he thinks. So where did he come from? How did this logo happen? Then who was this fellow? Who betrayed him? Was it a woman who betrayed him that badly? Why he doesn't trust? Why he treats women like dirt? What is his ideology? And what does he think? So that was fascinating me more. To know what went behind. Of course, that film also was an ethical call which I couldn't do. That was not the script which landed up happening. Because I had signed Punjab for Pawan Kalyan. And Billa 2 we announced. Ad actually. I remember still I just had the 2 bullets and I had that logo with blood actually. I had designed all the poster designs, scripting la ellame mudichachu actually. That was again a very difficult call in my life. Punjab postponed, Billa preponed actually. Rendume onna clash aachu ipdi. And it was a decision where Ajith sir thought Vishnu will leave Punjab and come. He'll do it for me. Abdin. No, I was, that 1 month was hell. I remember Sunir Ketrapal, Suresh Balaji nal kya yaar aisa ho raha hai yaar. कुछ करो यार ऐसा पढ़ने यार ये नहीं अपने टके नहीं हो इधर नाने माटी टके ये ना अपने देव panicking sir because I was not able to do the film. And Ajith sir, I think 1.5 years we didn't speak. After that we did Arambam. See, because I took a call there, again நான் வந்து அவங்களுக்கு நான் கமிட் பண்ணிட்டு நான் இவர் கூப்பிட்டாரு நான் விட்டு ஓடிட்டேன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்களேன், நான் திருப்பி அவங்க முதுகில் குத்துற மாதிரி. So that was one thing which actually kept again me and Ajith back together. There was a reason we were on a tough thing, but still it again put us back together for that one particular reason. So I said I really can't do it. I drafted a letter. I need why I couldn't honor it. I proper apologetic letter along with the advance and a check staple பண்ணி அப்படியே அனுப்பிச்சேன். That was the last letter I ever sent with the decision. One night I took, sir. I said no, I can't do this against my conscience. I can't do this. See, because some decisions you may take which may be right or wrong, but I think always listen to your gut feeling. Trust me. Don't listen to people. Listen to your gut feeling. That's the only one thing which will take you to places. That was a call Billa to why it happened. I think you need to do a lot of works. Even today till Yakshan ninga pathina, I have a blue and red. Ninga pathina throughout consistency we kept actually because of two characters. Ninga pathina you had okay. I love designing films. You know, that was one part of it which I really love. That is the next. That's the second stage after scripting. அது நடக்கும்போதே you will start performing and you will start acting, the shades வர ஆரம்பிச்சிரும், and then okay we need to give them some how to play it visually. Jammy தூத்துக்குடி ஒரு rustic இது, so give him little reds, and this fellow is more cool, aspiring with a dream and all these things, give him little blue. But the beauty is make sure that you maintain the consistency till the end. Maintain the ஏன்னா நடுவில் வந்து you might get diverted with 150 beautiful things in this world. So never get diverted actually, because your first gut feeling will always work. So you designed it accordingly. You know, even Yakshan was like that actually. We had a whole blue in terms of art direction line, everything I made sure there is blue. Chennai ku varumbodhu ellathilum pathina blue and red rendume irukum, but you have to aesthetically design it actually. So I think it's designing is very important for your film.
Tell us, you know, how you landed up Arambam. Ajith sir oda break ஆயிட்டு திருப்பி எப்படி அவர் வந்து கன்வின்ஸ் பண்ண முடிஞ்சது உங்களால? Sir,
that happened one night around 11:45 over a phone call. I remember you know appo because see, we share a very beautiful relationship actually pathina. It is not that every day I go and hang out with him or I don't intrude in his space. No, he doesn't intrude in his space. We know to keep our distance. I think that's very very important, you know, and we respect our space with each other, and we chumma we போய் hang out. It's not like that. And that point என்ன நடந்துருக்கும்னா சார், ஒரு கோவத்தில் வந்து we could react anything we want. Everybody does that actually because you almost said no, you know, it's just not right, which is really not right on my part, but it was an ethical decision which you took. But then it's better that you don't get into a conversation which could ruin your relationship further down. So he chose not to say a word, and even I chose not to say a word actually, either to the press or anywhere. That was not necessary. That was really not called for. I don't need to show who and what I'm going through. நான் வந்து இப்படி தான் நான் இவ்வளோ கஷ்டப்பட்டு அது சொல்லணும்னு தேவையே இல்லை. Nobody wants to know that story. Okay, and I don't think he also needs to show I'm angry with him because both of us are not in the, we're not children anymore. So we didn't want to get into anything. And Billa 2 all happened, and after that one night one phone call, I remember my photographer Chitu said, sir உங்ககிட்ட அடிக்கடி சார் கேட்டார் எப்படி போயிட்டு இருக்கு ஷூட்டிங் அப்படின்னு. See, somewhere you know you care, you know you like the person. It's a very personal thing. ஆனால் very நல்லா இருக்கா சார் எப்படி இருக்காரு, நல்லா இருக்காரு, ஓகே 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 விட்டுருங்க, ஏதோ சொல்லுமா இல்லை எதுவும் சொல்லாதே விட்டுருங்க அப்படின்னு. But then later one night I remember சார் பேசணும் அப்படின்னாரு அப்படின்னு. சரி பேசலாம் ஒன்றும் இல்லை, நான் அப்புறம் பேசுகிறேன் நான், இல்லை நைட் உடனே பேசணும். ஸோ 11:45 we both spoke after 1.5 years. That thing, it was very beautiful actually because it was so beautiful. All we said is okay, let's not talk about what happened, let's not talk about what happened, let's talk about what we have to do. And நான் சொன்னேன் சார், I need to ask you some things, இல்லைன்னா அதை மனசு உறுத்திக்கிட்டே இருக்கும், so we will clear it off அப்படின்னு சொல்லி that night we spoke over the phone. He shared what he felt, I shared what we felt. Time healed over the course of time, and then okay, then we'll start something now, we'll start with Arambam அப்படின்னு. And Arambam kuda pathina, Arambam script, what was there, the story, that was not the story at all. It was something else altogether. Avaru okay nu soltaru, Rathanam sir okay nu soltaru, script kada innu detailing poidala appdinu solittu one fine morning, again my gut feeling, one fine morning I woke up, I said I don't want to do this film. This script I don't want to do, because somewhere you feel something else you can do, but not why get into this. So annike na phone panni na maathra appdinta, they gave me that liberty to say no, yeah, they had a doubt. I said don't ask me, I'm not able to tell you, but I want to change it. The reason is I know I can do something more, you can do something more. So that's how Arambam actually happened.
Script make பண்றப்போ உங்களுக்கு கேமரா கட்டில அப்புறம் விஷுவல் கிடைக்குது சார். Is it or you feel comfortable? Lighting video அப்படின்ற மாதிரி.
No, we feel very comfortable. Even when most of the films shoot பண்ணும்போது, because I have one sense of cinematography a little, no, and you know sometimes because light, what does light do? Light actually creates mood for you. Light creates mood for you. When you're shooting on a harsh light, that will give you another mood. That depends on the kind of script and the kind of scene it demands. Or when you're shooting in a very, for example, Billa at Neera would light up everything. Now ukkand paathitu irpen, because I generally like to see how my frame is being done. Paathitu irukumbodhu he switched off couple of lights, romba alaga irundhuchu actually. Idu off panniyala brother appdinu nanu. நான் இன்னும் முடிக்கல லைட்டிங் அப்படின்னு. இல்லை இது சூப்பராக இருக்குது, இப்படியே நல்லா இருக்குது, why அப்படின்னு, because we plan we'll go in this mood அப்படின்னு. It's nice, Nirav, it's nice when you look into the frame and you light it up, you switch it off, no, and now see, no, the subject is more focused actually. Now I know it gives me a very eerie feel, and what is going to happen in that sequence, what he's thinking, the light and the mood is able to create that. Maybe he may not say a lot of things, so that will help. So idalame will help you. It creates a mood. Visual cinematography gives you the mood actually. So what happens is, again, Neera was very open, very flexible enough to take those chances, because Billa was a chance, and every film was a chance in exploring how we are going to shoot the film. So it really helps you a lot in the mood. It really helps. Actually kada eduthumbodhe, for me, when I sit and write a story, I would write it very visual. It's very high contrast la irukum paadu. See, because you think like that actually. High contrast la irukum, the way he's standing now, I want that shadow under the eyes, I want the thing, and he's got that little blue thing which is happening because he thinks like that. So colors actually, if I don't know if you guys read this book, if it's purple, someone's going to die. You should get that book actually. That book will talk about how colors make a huge difference in telling a story. That's very interesting book actually. How colors can play. You have Vittorio Storiero's work, a lot of other people's work actually. Neenga American Beauty pathina, American Beauty ellarum paathiruppingala. American Beauty, the whole color of the film is American flag. Theriyuma ungalku? Now take any frame and see, the window will be in blue. Okay, he will be wearing a white shirt and he'll be carrying a red file. So you will not even think about it. Adavadhu, it is not that audience have to notice, pathiya na ipdi pannirken paru, intentional irukona, but that effort you put in, they will feel it on the screen. Because if you start thinking like that, you approach with that attitude and be sincere to that attitude, that will reflect back on the screen actually. So you need that. Cinematography plays a huge role in giving you the mood. See, I had already written one about 5 years back, Balakumaran sir, which now that also accidentally happened. I went for some other reference to ask him, and then the way we gelled, I remember that morning around 4 o'clock, he's a very early person, so I couldn't sleep that night. So 4 o'clock I went to meet him. We started talking something, because he had written some 10 volumes and he had stopped writing for films, Balakumaran sir. So that time he was talking about so many things, which one event struck me very interesting it was. I will not tell you now, but இது நல்லா இருக்குது சார், இது ரொம்ப இன்ட்ரெஸ்டிங்காக இருக்குது, இது ஒரு படமாகவே பண்ணலாம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு படமாகவே பழையாச்சு அப்படின்னாரு. ஸோ உட்காந்து we did on whole, that was the time I stopped making movies actually. 1 year I didn't make movies, sir. That is because I didn't know what to do. That was very interesting. I stopped making movies. I didn't have money at all. எல்லாரும் பயந்துட்டாங்க actually. I stopped making movies, and that was the time I wrote about 6 scripts. I had traveling. Balakumaran sir wrote 3 months travel panni. All over South I was traveling, reading all the temples, studying about all the temples. That was the time I wrote about 3 documentary scripts, India by Waters and Tajai Koil, all these documentaries I had written and kept, because I wanted to do something else actually. This is all nice, it's so much of fun, making a film itself is so much of fun, but you wanted to explore the medium more, but there are a lot of restrictions, Inge. So there is a time for everything, when you really pick that from that thing, and when you feel, your gut feeling will say, this is the time you have to do it, that when that clock ticks in you, then that's the right time for it. Not when your mind ticks, when that ticks, when your gut ticks, that's the right time.